Premier League is back again for this week with Gameweek 2, and so what better time than for my Gameweek 2 predictions. So, first game then, West Ham and Chelsea. West Ham coming to this game with a shocking 3-0 loss to Sunderland, and Chelsea coming to this game also with a pretty disappointing result against a weak Crystal Palace. Minding that, I feel like West Ham losing to Sunderland is a bit worse, so I have Chelsea winning this game 2-0. Hopefully, Joao Pedro scores if I do decide to bench boost in FPL, and Chelsea, I feel like, will perform well in this game, well better than West Ham at least, and West Ham are in for a rough ride during this Premier League season. Then, next one, then the biggest game of the week, or you could argue the second if you consider Liverpool versus Newcastle, but Spurs versus Manchester City. City come into this game, brilliant win against Wolves. Spurs come into this game with a 3-0 win against Burnley. And Spurs have always had this weird aggression to City and a weirdly good record against City. But with Reinders being amazing in their Wolves game, with Foden and Rodri rumored to come back, I feel like Spurs are not going to win this game. They might score, but then that somewhat high line by Thomas Frank will be exposed by Reinders and Cherky and Foden and Haaland. So I feel like City are going to win around 2-1. Not comfortably, but reasonably with a good performance. Next game, Bournemouth versus Wolves. This also I predict to be a 2-1 game in favor of Bournemouth. Again, Bournemouth had lost their defense, but they did put up a decent fight against Liverpool, even though they did lose 4-2. And that high line is not going to be exposed as much against Wolves, so I feel like Wolves will score one, maybe a Strad Larsen goal, but Bournemouth will win 2-1. Next game then, Burnley versus Sunderland. Sunderland come into this game, amazing performance against West Ham, 3-0 win. Burnley come into this game with a 3-0 loss to Spurs, so I feel like Sunderland is cooking. I predicted them not to get relegated as well, so I feel like Sunderland will end up winning this game 2-0, which I feel like if they continue winning on games like this against Burnley, against Leeds, against West Ham, they will most likely stay up. Next then, Brentford versus Aston Villa. I have this being probably the boring game of the week with a 0-0 draw. Aston Villa, I don't see the vision, neither do I see it with Brentford. I don't see either side scoring as well. So I feel like this is what it'll go for. Next game then, Arsenal versus Leeds at the Emirates. Arsenal come into this game with not a good performance, but even though it wasn't a good performance, a victory against Manchester United away from home. Leeds come into this game being Leeds. I feel like they're not going to do anything in this game. Clean sheet for Arsenal, 2-0 victory. And I probably see Gyökeres scoring in this game. Next then, Palace versus Forest. Forest, surprisingly good performance in game week 1. Chris Wood showing that he's still got it this season, and I feel like Palace did hold off Chelsea to a 0-0 draw, but I feel like Forest will be able to exploit what Palace is doing, and especially with SA not being there. And mind you, SA did score that free kick against Chelsea that was disallowed later on, but with SA not being there, Crystal Palace is very weak, and so I feel like Forest will take this game a decently close fight, but Forest will be able to win 1-0. Next game then, Everton vs Brighton. Don't see the vision with Everton as much, even though I really do rate David Moyes. Brighton, I feel like will have a good enough game, maybe a Mitoma goal or two, and then they'll win 2-0. Next game then, United vs Fulham. United had a surprisingly better performance than what I expected against Arsenal, even though they did lose. Fulham, on the other hand, I have pretty high hopes for this season, and I feel like United are still figuring out how to use both Sesko, Cunha, and Mbembo. Even though Cunha was amazing against Arsenal, and I feel like Cunha is going to be the best signing out of those three. But I feel like they won't be able to do a lot in the first few game weeks, so I feel like this is going to be a 0-0 draw. First points for United. Then final game week, then the Isak saga, Newcastle versus Liverpool at St James's Park. So I don't know what's going on there with Isak. Isak being locked up. Hashtag free Isak. I don't know what's going on there, but perfect time for this game. Um, with Isak not starting, and with Newcastle haven't not made a lot of signings. Anthony Langa's a okay signing, but I don't see the vision with him. So I feel like Liverpool will be able to win 2-0 and then I don't know, convince Isak or convince Newcastle to sell Isak to them or something. I don't know what's going on there, but I feel like this is how it'll end up being. So those are my game week 2 predictions then. So let me know down below if I've said anything stupid, because this is a simple last minute, because I sort of forgot about it, and so I can't do that next time. But so yeah, Premier League game week 2 predictions. Football feels like it's finally back, back to back game weeks, even though international break is coming. I don't know why. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know down in the comments if I said anything stupid. Let me know down in the comments your predictions, and I'll see you all in the next video.